All right, let's get started. Let me get my screen up. So looks like I've got a few early super chats in, and I'll get to those. Hope everyone's doing okay out there. We're starting to see the indices break higher. If we are moving into this wave three of five, we'd like to see some separation in wave three, and then the fours and fives can begin. Right. So we need some. This is really weak. Like if we only go a little bit, let's say you go to 616 and we start doing this, that's really weak. That's typical of a fifth wave, right? A real weak advance. But if we can get a squeeze, a short squeeze, maybe there's some imminent news about the drop that's really going to get the market excited. I heard there's like talk of giving every American citizen $5,000 or something like that. I mean, that is going to pump stocks, guys, if they do that. I mean, think about what they gave money on COVID, just a couple thousand. I knew everybody that I knew that got the 1,000 or whatever. They bought stocks with it. Being, grandma, grandpa, they all wanted to buy stocks. So I think they just gamble the money in a nation of gamblers. So I think, I'm like, well, that would be the perfect news to drive some separation if something like that could ever happen. But maybe there's something else out there. But we are, we're looking for this kind of an extension, and then fours and fives, and then we top. That's the game plan. And we'll have to wait and see. Now, does this mean when this tops, everything's going to crash? Probably not. I bet there's some stocks and some sectors that will be in a bull market. Probably the ones that weren't really moving back here. Maybe maybe some of the sectors that have been stuck in the mud will now advance, while tech gets stuck in the mud. I'm just giving you an idea. If this tops, now it could always accelerate, erase divergence, and we talked about what that means. And technology is got a bigger gap here to go to top out. Maybe this is something like that. So we top up around here. So I don't know how this is going to play out exactly, but I know I want it to stay on the long side, and that's been the right call so far. And the IWM looks like it wants to have some kind of explosive move here out. And then either we top out or we surprise and we run to these new highs. So again, we want to be looking to buy the dip, load up. We were able to load up here. Now we just sit back and see what happens. And the market has been a little bit erratic though at this top, real erratic price action. A lot of indecision, because I think there's a lot of people that are scared and nervous as we get higher, but that's typically not how the market peaks. So that's why we keep grinding higher. So let's go to the super chats, guys. And like I said, I always get to everyone's super chats. I always jump to my elite members first, and then I'll go to my other public, anybody else that wants me to take a look at their stocks. So Anonymous is asking about Litecoin. If you haven't noticed, Litecoin's bullish. Okay, we came off of this low, and we've already made it all the way back up. A lot of stocks, including Bitcoin, haven't done that. They're down here. I mean, a lot of cryptos right down here still. Or even lower. Solana, even lower. Litecoin is not. And not only that, it corrected and it made a new high. So we could be in this count. This uber bullish count. Something like that. Like that. Out. 3 of 3. I don't know why it's so bullish, probably because there's some kind of ETF news out there. Now, what it could still do, though, is a flat. So it's not all just get, crazy and just want to just go buy it right away, because we could still do this. So if it does this, if it could pull back in the flat, then LTCN is probably moving down to $10 or $9. It's been staying 1-to-1. I looked at it today, and I was looking, because I look for my elite members. I always look at all the stocks. I'm always constantly checking. So I wanted to check crypto just to see, and I came across LTCN, and I said to myself, I scratched my head when it opened actually down, down here, and I said, the premium's got to be getting close. So I calculated, and we were actually 1-to-1. And for these altcoin grayscale products, that's rare. So that in itself represents just a good opportunity. And then sure enough, the market saw that too today, and boom, it pushed it up $1. So now the market's moving up. So this could be a lot of different counts. Now the LTCN count is different. It's already this cycle's already over. The down cycle's already over. So we're in a new up cycle. The up cycle, could go pretty high. But we don't focus on how much money you can make on this channel. We never focus on that. We focus on how much can you lose. Amateurs, rookies, dumb money, they think about how much they can make when they buy something. We never think about that. We just think about what can we lose? What can we lose? And so what I see here could be like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe something like that. Perhaps even here and here. But I'd have to count that as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We already have the divergence. So we'll call it as an impulse. So if it's an impulse, that's bullish, and that should deserve a pullback back down to about 1094. But you can't rule out the 1, 2, 1, 2 setup. You can't rule out the 1, 2, 1, 2 setup like this, right? And something like that. Can't rule that out. So which one is it? I don't know. What I do know is it's pretty bullish, and I believe it may not see these prices again. I don't. So your question is, do we think it's going to go to the $9 or $10 area? I think even if Litecoin drops, like I show in the flat, I think this will come back with a little premium. It's probably not coming back down here anymore. It's already looks like to me it's in a new cycle higher. It's a new cycle has been born quietly where no one's paying attention to it, because it's just silly old Litecoin, right? Nobody pays attention to Litecoin. It's like LOL, what a joke crypto, right? It's kind of the joke crypto. But this cycle's over down, right? So I think it's just pushing higher from here. I can label this a lot of different ways. I'm starting to think with it taking this high out today, 9% up, I think even if Litecoin pulls back, this could pull back to probably like 11, 1092, and that's probably it. That's probably it. So as you could see, a massive truncation, which is bullish, right? And we saw that. So why? I'm not sure. Very bullish. Look at that truncation. So I think it's just, I don't know. I don't know why it is the case. I think it's been in a bear market through the last 4-year cycle. Maybe finally there's just no more sellers left to sell. Maybe it's just finally no more sellers left to sell. The whales have finally had their fill. They bought as many Lambos as they could buy. The last 4-year cycle, they bought their mansions with Litecoin. They bought now they're like, all right, why don't we just let the price rise finally? And maybe that's all. It's as simple as that. They're just like, and maybe they're figuring it out that like if you just want to use this as a money tree, the price doesn't go anywhere. But if they allow the price to rise, they can actually win on that. So maybe they're figuring that out, and the whales are just slowing the selling down. But this is I'll go with discount for now. But if you take out 140.99, I think it's off. I think it's boom. So good luck on that. And yeah, maybe it's the ETF, and maybe that's the news the investor needs to convince them to buy it, right? Maybe an investor's like, well, if there's an ETF, I should buy. Like it's already so underowned and underloved, and maybe that's the final news that just convinces people to buy it finally. I don't know. I don't know. But I did point this out to our elite members. And then MIGI. So now again, let's go back to the rest of crypto. Rest of crypto, I'm not ready to be that bullish. Litecoin's an outlier. Look what it's done. This is February 2nd. Okay, that's February 2nd. Okay, here's February 2nd. Look where we are in Bitcoin. We're not up here, right? Look at Solana. Holy crap, we're down here, right? Bitcoin Cash, February 2nd, we're not up here or up here, right? It's that bullet, guys. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't know why it's like this, but it is. So this is an outlier, and so Bitcoin still has a potential to come down to 86,000, and which is why I think some of these crypto stocks are weak. They're weak because they depend on Bitcoin, the king. They need the king, or the kingdom dies. The kingdom dies without the king. And so MIGI, let me see if I can find it here. Let me sort this alphabetical order. Pushing down in this wave C. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, yeah, it's just grinding lower now. Again, we're still in this kind of structure. We're just going to be in a big kind of flat pattern. We could try to project some targets here. It may be possible to do that. So that's pretty bearish. That's too bearish, right? 14 cents. We can't. I don't think it's going to go down that far. We're starting to race divergence, so you want to see this plummet and take out those peaks there. So I think, yeah, I think this is the connector, and this is in the third wave there. So it's again, I wouldn't get too caught up about. My guess is when Bitcoin bottoms, this will find its footing. Maybe it's something like that. Something like that. But based on my system and my chart, I would get rid of it. I mean, I wouldn't be interested in trading this anymore. It's too ugly. Too ugly, right? It's not it's not something I want to trade. But I wish I had better news for people that may have been in this. Maybe it could do something like that later. Yeah, let's go with that for now. Let's fix the chart up a little bit. Something like that. So yeah, it's a real ugly chart. It's a real ugly chart. It's gonna. I probably should put this here. Right, and then this is another corrective sequence there. Something like this. And then your final move down. It's just I mean, I don't trade, guys. I never trade or recommend charts like this. I just don't do that. I just don't trade these kinds of charts because there's just too many ways to label the corrective sequence. But I do think it will turn when Bitcoin turns. So I think I tried to draw it out as much as I could. Your divergences are almost erased, so you would think it's close to bottoming, capitulation, and then you'll have a counter trend rally up. This is no longer, up, and then the cycle ends in Bitcoin, and then this goes back into the abyss, like you saw here. I mean, that's probably what's going to happen. I mean, that's probably what's going to happen. But anyway, that's how I'd look at MIGI. I think it is close to a low. It's just in the last innings of this correction, probably. You see, it's in the last innings. All right. All right, let's go. Just kind of scanning through comments here. All right, I'll start at the top with the non-members. And thanks again for calling in. Hive, the Hive stock. So again, looking for one more plunge lower. Did we break that low though? So we haven't technically broken this low. We have 3 and we have 3 here, or 5, or we could say it's 5. I'm calling it in 3. So I mean, we could see a little counter trend price action, although we could also be finished here. And then this is some kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you have an A and a B, and now you're about to get C. So tough to say. We could bounce back up. It could be done, but I'm looking again for more of a capitulation like type push. But this one's a little different because we haven't broke this low. So it is possible I can relabel this very creatively and probably call this like an A, B, C, and put an A here. Get rid of this WXY. I could put the X there. Again, this is an alternative label, and then do that. So this one's a lot tougher. We have to look. Let's see how that looked. You see how we bottomed with no divergence. So if this does break down, we need to take this. So that's why it's got to dive down. So it's kind of 50-50. There's really no reason to think it will break that low. By the way, I'm showing here, other than Bitcoin breaking down. If Bitcoin can hold up for some reason, then maybe it could hold this low and do the other count I showed. But I think ultimately you get this wild wave at some point. But I think you have a little bit of a mess here to navigate. Dogecoin, how's that one doing? Dogecoin, we talked about this big deep correction and it hit our buy area. You could have put a limit buy here. If you call into my live streams, we talked about it when we were trading here. I said it was no man's land. There were possibilities, but I said the worst case was a dive down in a big double correction, and that's what we got. And now we're coming out of that. So now we're either in this 1-2 count that I show here, 1-2 1-2 count, right? Or it's still in 2, and it could come back. So if it's still in 2, you have an opportunity to maybe buy it again, looking at this structure at 23.18 right here in this area. So there is an opportunity to buy it again right here. if it wants to do this you know, probably call that like an A, B, C, maybe right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. So you would call this a W, X, Y. And there's your, so you would take another leg down when this is finished. So we don't know, unfortunately. I think this low will be hard to break. So if you missed that dip, you missed it. It's just the way it goes. If you want to buy it here, you do risk. This is your risk, but it could drop here and lower that risk a little bit. But as you know, if we break that low, then you'll have an impulse down from the top probably, right? Or let's take a look. Yeah, it'd be an impulse down, and that would extend the correction for a while, right? Because it would become like a 1, 2, like this would become like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, with 3 ABs within, you know, with 3 3s, and then it would bounce, and then it would fail again later. So it would basically put this in a bear market for a while if it was in a if it breaks this low. You know, I guess you could try to talk yourself into a flat. Maybe you could try to force that, put the 1 there. But if it does break that low, you're looking probably right at this trend line. This trend line that I'm not sure why I drew. Yeah, it looks like it connects all those peaks, almost like a back test to this breakout that we had. I believe it will find support there if it does break that low, but the bounce will be susceptible to failure, and you could be in a long, drawn-out consolidation phase if something like that happens. This is really what you need to have happen here. This is what this has to happen. Like you need either this or that 1 2 1 2 setup I showed earlier. Yeah, I know. I'm like, but you know, so Tesla is bullish, guys. I mean, like you can see that. You saw what? Yeah, I'm not my yeah, my channel isn't ready for Discord or that yet. If I can, so my goal with my channel, guys, is I need to get to 500 members. No matter the tier, 500 is my count. I can add, I want to add perks. I'll be able to do that. So if every person who is a member just gets one person to join, just one person, we could be there tomorrow. Because I already had, I mean, I'm amazed I already have 139 people signed up. I mean, that's just, I was on, like I said, I was only thinking like a couple people would join. You know, I didn't think we'd have this many in just over a week. So if every one of you guys just goes out and gets, you know, 1 or 2 people, will be there. So just tell your friends if you like it and stuff. And if we do that, then we could start talking, like just have some serious conversations about what this can be and what we can do with this. You know, essentially a small business that's starting here, that we all are benefiting from. Can you hey, can you accept for your subscription? I'm not sure, Mason, what you're asking there. Free Willy, let me see what you're asking. Okay, I see PACB and Grab. Oh, Grab. I'm glad someone asked about Grab. I'm glad someone asked about Grab. They're trying to pump that on Twitter, man. They're trying to pump that all on Twitter. And let's go to this first one. I'm not familiar with this one here. I think PACB. Okay, so I have heard the name, but haven't necessarily been asked about it. Now, it hasn't broken that low yet. I mean, for whatever that's worth. I mean, you look at this, and what I see is just a 3-wave reactive move. and then I see 5 waves down. I mean, that's what I see. Now, you did come down without a lot of divergence. That's probably a good sign. So it's probably in three. Here's probably, one big A, B, C here, something like this. So we know the XBI is getting close, and it may not dip down like we're hoping for. It may not dip down like we're hoping for, but and if it doesn't, then this I could see why this could run. I could see why this could run. And again, I'm just trying to label it. Right, I'm just trying to label it. Uh, so something like that. Now, of course, we could still be an X. We can't get too crazy with it. We could do something like this, right? And then this bottoms later, years later. But it seems likely we're going to get a pump here, right? If looking at this structure, and it looks like it's in some kind of accumulation mode here. Yeah, some kind of accumulation mode off this low. So that's an important low. And again, it's moving in 3 waves. I mean, to me, so you're just gonna have to kind of go with that. It's gonna do this, and it's gonna do this, and do this. It's gonna just keep building and build it. So you see what I'm saying? So it's gonna have to do something like that, and see that is the three. So now it's in this Y wave here. So I think that's how I'd look at it. These lows have to hold though. This low here has to hold, or it kind of negates the whole look of it. Look of what we're doing here. It kind of negates this view. All right, and then Grab is been being pumped on the internet, and don't fall into that trap. And so the idea with Grab is pretty simple. We have a 3-wave pullback. We had 3 up. Very dangerous area to just buy it. So we want to, if we can get another 3 waves down to 414, 381, yeah, maybe it's worth trying to pick it up. It looks like it did dump on earnings here. Look at that. So it looks like if you FOMO'd in and somebody on the internet convinced you to buy it, you need to rethink your strategy because that never works out very well. So it looks like to me you have something like a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. That would be what I'm thinking. But it could also be a 1, 2, 1, 2. I look at this wave. It's probably moving in 3 waves, something like that, something like this, right? Again, I'm just trying to make sense of this chart. If it's bullish, now if it's bearish, then it's gonna break the low. It's gonna it's gonna do this, and then you're gonna get stopped out. So this is a risky trade because you only see 3 up here, and it could do something like this and break the low. So it's a risky trade here. You're praying for a 5th wave or 1, 2, 1, 2, but this was a bearish bounce, So but this would be the area. So if you want to try to get in on this, and I'm not sure what happened on earnings, why it collapsed like it did, but that would be the area to do it. But good luck on that. Yeah, MSOS is like, just again, it's one of those being patient and also Newegg. It's a like, you got to just believe and tuck it away and not worry about it. So you have to have not that much of your trading capital tied up in that. So I talked about that, Free Willy. Um, Not sure what you're getting at about Mike or Mick or whatever. Don't know what you mean about that. Meme coins, meme coin rally. If the Russell rallies, the meme coins more than likely are going to rally. I mean, that's what's going to happen. All right, Connor. Teladoc is dipping in a wave 4. It's dipping in a wave 4. And hopefully the Russell will bring it back to life. It may have already moved. I didn't look at it. It must have rallied at the end of toward the latter half of this trading session. So there we go. So this is kind of the look that we have right now. And remember what happens after 5, a big pullback. So we have to be careful. Now it could also be another 1-2, right? We've seen these extensions. So if it's a 1-2, 1-2, then it's off to the races. So we just don't know. But I'm just going to label it this way. But obviously it looks like it made the turn. All right, and then ARCQ. Let's see, that one is, oh, this is a quantum stock. A quantum stock, okay. Let's take a look at it. And we did not find support. You see how we've tried to buy it in 3, and then it pushed down. And so now it's turning into more of an impulse. So that's dangerous. And see, we broke that low. So this is bullish structures negate it. And that's why the quantum sector is weak, guys, and I'm not recommending that. My elite members, I'm not recommended to buy any quantum stocks. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. And so I think this is like a bigger area, but let's take a look at the bigger picture. Again, let's take a look at the bigger picture. So we're going to see the 3 nature wave, but we still need to see bullish divergence. You have a little bit here. I mean, it could be a long, drawn-out 5th wave. Right? It could be a long, drawn-out 5th wave. Like that. And then it could bottom at any moment. So it's one possibility. And that gets you to that 1359 area. Let me make sure I got, oh yeah, let's line that up better. There we go, 1546, right where we are now. So if this is the count, it could be finding buyers. Again, I don't usually recommend these structures to buy, but this would be the area where it could turn. We did have 5 up, so this correction should lead to more upside in the future eventually. So we tried to buy it in 3, which is always a good idea. We did get a bounce, but then it failed. So the bounce failed, and it's now turned into more of this, flat correction. And so I'd be looking for something like this. And I think people got excited again about quantum today because Microsoft dropped some quantum news. Could even hit 11 right here. And you have some gaps here that may fill. I don't know if there are daily gaps or not. You can look and check yourself. But whatever it is, you could see basically this is what I'll be looking for. I think it will go higher, looking at how it came off this bottom, at least for one more high, something like that. Okay, anonymous GSOL is getting beat up with Solana, right? So I checked the premium on that, and it's still traded at like, if Solana was at like $240 and it isn't, $230, so you can't buy it. You just can't buy it because Solana is going to have an ETF, guys, come out, and when it does, these premiums will go 1-to-1. So yeah, so we gotta be looking for more downside. We got to get this premium to 1-to-1. So either Solana needs to go up in price to match this, or this needs to come down, or a combination of both. And so until that happens, we really can't entertain buying it because I think that's what's happening with these G products, Grayscale products, is the premiums are all going to go 1-to-1. Now that these ETFs are, and most of them will get approved with the Trump administration now, and if they haven't filed, they're going to file. There's going to probably be, you know, a GBAT ETF, a GLR, they're all going to have ETFs in the next, you know, year or two. You know they are. So all these premiums have got to get to one-to-one. So they're all going to bleed. They're all going to bleed into one-to-one premiums. So as the so when you see the premium hit one-to-one, I think that's the time to get more interested in this, or it becomes you know, undervalued to the or, you know, in like which almost happened to Litecoin today. Which is I think a rare thing, and that's why it moved 9%. Now, Solana Solana's stuck in a flat, and I mentioned the bigger flat. It's in this bigger flat. It could see 140, $136. It's in a flat, so it's tough to say what degree flat it's in right now. It could be in this flat here that I'm showing, but could even be in a higher degree flat, and it's just you know, it could even be in this too still, and in this big three. This could be three, and it could come all the way back down here even 116, 130. But whatever it is, it's a flat, it's a shakeout. It's trying to get out all the weekends, all the weekends. But the path is clear. We made higher high. We're making higher highs. This is just the classic flat trap that a lot of investors won't be able to absorb that, because they're probably too leveraged in it, or they accidentally bought it up here, and now they're stuck in the flat. So you're stuck in a flat. You're going to have to ride it out. I think GSOL bleeds lower, and then at some point this flat ends. And again, this labeling, I can be off by a swing or two. So this may not. Maybe we don't make it quite to 140. Maybe we bottom at 155. But I think somewhere in this area is the bottom, and then it will rise, and then at some point those two products will be one-to-one, and then I think GSOL will be good. It'll be fine, and then GSOL will take off with this product, with this crypto coin. Yeah, and Litecoin is a legal tender in a few. Oh, is that right? I didn't know that. So maybe it's more than just a money tree of the whales, right? I always thought it was just a money tree. You know, the guys that got in at $3 a Litecoin. Yeah, RX. So let's see. I'm just going to super chats for our elite members, and then I'll get to the non-members. So Ronaldo XRP. XRP is I think I've been pretty clear how to trade that. How's that doing though? Let's see. I don't remember exactly where we were with it. Yeah, it's trying to make its decision here. You know, it's trying to figure out how to come out of this. Again, this could be it. I mentioned this. Now we broke this high. That's good. And now, again, it's like Dogecoin, right? But Dogecoin didn't break the high, right? Dogecoin wasn't able to, but this was. So I could do it like this. We could do this, right? And then we could come back down and then come out. You know, something like that is one possibility. Another one is it's a flat, right? And we have this like A, B, C, and then we come down here, and then we come out. But breaking the high should give you good confidence. And this was a nice little reaction there, almost breaking. Now, if we break that high, then I think it's 5 off the low, right? And then I think this X is set, and now it's a build into the new highs. So I think I'm inclined to label it this way for now, and then we'll see what happens. If it's a 1-2-1-2, it's just going to take off. But if for some reason it dips back down here, like I mentioned, this is your accumulation zone, and you just got to accumulate and be patient, just like we were down here. And boy, did we have to be patient. I mean, damn, we had to be really patient in that zone. But we finally got the breakout, right? Just one random day went pretty much straight up, and that's probably what's going to happen here. Okay, and then oh, I did. Okay, I'll come back to that then. Hive, you skipped my super above Hive and Doge. I don't know if trying to see if I can see that here. Well, hold on 1 second here. Hive and Doge. Yeah, just all these super chats coming in. I am looking for it. You know, maybe you got to type it back in or something. I just don't see it in my feed. Maybe it messed my feed's messed up. Maybe my feed's messed up. So you're gonna have to type that back in. I don't see it. Okay, 6737. But I will do it. PDD. Yeah, I was looking at China. PDD guys. PDD is not not in a good setup for me. It's not in a good setup. I would say I want to see a bigger pullback before I start going long China. I don't want to just buy it off of this big run it had. Also, the dollar index may be moving. So this is what I got for PDD. Yikes. You know, you're probably like, no way. But we've had this box for months. I mean months. So far so good. So we'll see. We'll know in a few weeks. If we start breaking down, once we break 92, I think boom, it's 60, and then we'll have a great opportunity. All right, Lily. Sorry, Donald, I missed yours. Lily and Palantir. Yeah, Lily is in a connector wave, I believe, and it's just trapping people right now. Lily's just trapping people in this connector wave. It should be getting close to finishing, but if I'm really want to be precise about it, you have 3 here. I guess it has to hold this high. It's got to hold. It's got to hold 887. What's it do in the after hours? It's trying to break it, but it hasn't yet. It's tough to say. Now, if we break that, then you're 5 off the high, and then I would just change the labeling to something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an A, B, C. I would just change the labeling and still call it a connector and an A, B, C, in an ABC and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I still think it needs another wave down. It's just my opinion. I just didn't like how this bottomed out here. You know, maybe if that was the low, we could have done it, but it wasn't. So I think it's a connector wave. I have it labeled this way, but I could easily change it and just kind of tweak it to be something like this, and then turn it into like an A, B, C, and then turn this into like an A, B, C, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe we're trying to fill this gap here, and then that's it, and then you get this next leg lower. That's what I'm thinking. But let's take a look at some other things just to be safe and just to see real quick. You know, for a major cycle top, you would expect it the weekly cycle to reset more. It didn't. The monthly cycle here, it found support and wants to break it so bad, but it's pretty over sold. But the weekly isn't. So yeah, I think it's in a connector. But I do believe at some point, if you're patient enough, you'll be able to buy it where I have this box. But I'm not interested in buying it here. And then Palantir, I think, was selling off today, I think, on earnings. So Palantir, we had this 5th wave, massive extension. So if this is an extended 5th wave, which it looks like it is, because we have the bearish divergences still relevant, we should come all the way back down to $61, $63. We should lose this. We should lose the 5. We should lose the 5 in a 3-swing manner, right? In some kind of, we should do that. That's what should happen. Now, could 5 extend? Always possible. But this is just the first wave down. We don't even have wave, this is just wave 1. We need two, you know. So it's this is just getting started. This is a major peak, I think, for a while. It would be I'd be really surprised if it could just rally from here and take that out. If it does take this high out, it's going to extend, and then you have to be thinking of race and divergence again, right? But now you're talking $200. Now you're talking 200. And what's its market cap? It's $255 billion. Isn't that insane for how much it sells? It's insane. Like the market cap, but I guess it could go, why not? Let's go to a trillion. Why not? I mean, what the hell, right? I mean, um, but this has got to create a bigger correction, I think. I think what you really need to keep an eye on is this trend line. So we really need to break that. So I mean, I guess you don't want to short it because it could extend. It could extend still. Look at the room it has. It has it. It's still in a bullish cycle. It could still extend. It could still do this and get even more crazy. I'm just saying that I would not short it because it does not seem like it has a cycle break yet on the weekly cycle. So yeah, clearly this wave is over. So it's either five or one of five. I think this is the way to call it, but I mean, you can't rule out the extension. You can't rule it out. Why is volume? Yeah, I think the volume is because people don't trust the rally. I think it's that, and people are feeling like they don't want to buy at the highs, the peak, right? I mean, who wants to do that? But that's not typically how the markets peak usually. Not to say that it can't do that, but with that low volume, is once volume comes in, the price will move dramatically, and it could move to the downside. That's why we were watching for this flat because the flat could have played out, and I don't think it would be a flat anymore because it doesn't have the right look. But when we were trading up here, it could have been a flat, and the flat would have been a crash correction down, and that would have been volume hidden to because there's just no bid. Boom. And then I think that would have been the best situation for the longer term health of the market. This little slow grind up or whatever's happening here may feel good for the bulls in the right now, but I think long term it sets you up for a possible calamity. So I think it would have been nice to get like a real big good risk you know risk off type, clear out the decks again and start, but we didn't get that. So it's gonna build. It's gonna build to that. So it's either gonna build this slow little pathetic grind higher and top, or it will separate and go like blow off, like the technology index kind of implies could happen. So I think we'll know in the next week or two, maybe the next week even, where they're looking at this wave count. So like, I don't know what news is going to be so bullish in the next 7 days that I mean I can't like it. Paul isn't coming out to lower rates. He's not doing emergency rate cuts, so he ain't coming to save the day. So I don't know what. That's where I started hearing, oh, the $5,000 for every citizen. Well, that probably do it. That'll get people, back in the market real quick. So I don't know. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe it's more to that story than just on chatter on the internet. But anyway, I think we'll know soon enough how this is going to play out. Don't accept crypto. I go through YouTube, so you'll just have to go through YouTube if you want to join. Just hit join on YouTube. And Swanson, thanks for becoming an elite member. You won't be disappointed. I'm pretty sure that. Yeah, there was quantum news today. Yeah, Microsoft dropped some news, and we were on top of that. But maybe there was other news. I haven't heard about other news, but they dropped some news. Yeah, Microsoft did. They invented some kind of quantum computer or something like that. But you guys can read that. Okay, let's see here. I'm looking at Sharon. Thank you for Sharon. May I please feedback on LYB and MOS? Okay, yeah, let's take a look at those. And that one's a new one. Linden Bell Basel. I'm not sure. I don't know, but that's okay. I like. We'll look at it. Uh, Big picture. Looks like you got some kind of, cycle here, right? Probably like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. And a three-wave move down, or right here, down. And then you come out, and then you come out. So could it be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you've peaked with like overlapping waves, or is it a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2? So let's take a look. So looking at it from my perspective, you see this is still open to the downside, and the monthly's coming turning up. So it's in a connector, it's probably going down. So I'm going to label it this way. It's conservative, but let me check one more thing out. See that peak RSI's early, but let's look at the weekly. Yeah, so you don't have any RSI peak. So you really can't label that as the 3. This is a cycle here. So we have to label it as something like a 1, 2, right? Right? It would be something like a 1, 2. And then I think you'd have to label this as like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like that. And then this is something like this, and then this, yeah, that looks like that. So that's the only thing I could think of that makes sense to me. And then this is like something like that. So this is the area of support right here that I think will hold and be your accumulation zone right here. So that $65 area is it. Now, if we start rallying any harder off of this, and we don't get this pullback, and we end this impulse with another push higher, then I'm looking at the even more bullish count where this is a 1, 2, and then this is a 1, 2, and it ended there in 3, and it's off. And that's how I'd look at this. So good luck on that. And then MOS. Mosaic is one I've been always tracking. Mosaic, though, let me down. Though. It decided to break this low right here. But I do think it's in this this counter trend rally, and this could actually extend quite a while. So I believe it is coming off this low. Again, these are the stocks that may run when the indices top and they really pull back in that bigger cycle. These are the ones that could be running in wave 3 of 3. That's these forgotten stocks. So I still think this is the count. The reason I don't recommend it because we did break this low. So it could do a lot of things that are very bearish. So it could have a bearish breakdown, but I think, but for now, this is the count I'd go with. I think it's going to run in C, and it could run quite a while. But I look at it as some kind of corrective bounce, and honestly, it can go. I mean, it could even make it back up to $60. We just don't know where it ends. But at some point, I think it ends, and then it comes back down again. But I believe you should trade. It's bullish off of this low. It's bullish off of 25.29, right? Because you have 3, and now it's turned. It's turning. You could call this like a double bottom, something like that. Okay, good luck on that. Joel, MOBX, Mobix Labs. Not a lot of chart data, so it's really tough to get this one, but I'll do my best. You got 3 and 3 and 3, so you've got some kind of you know, WXY here, something like that. And you won't be able to do a proper RSI analysis with such little chart data. But now you're bouncing, right? So you should have like a WXY, something to that effect. So you would expect more upside, at least another swing higher. It looks like you're up 5 there with divergence. So it looks like you'll have some kind of ABC higher here. Something like that. That's what you're hoping for. Like we saw before, if we break this low, then we put the W here, and then it's an ABC, and then it's a 5th wave. So I think for now we label it this way. I think the most important thing is you will get more than likely another swing higher. So it's either this in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this is a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup to come out, or the other alternative is it's this, and then you get this, and then something like that, and then this is like an ABC, like an ABC, and like we saw, almost similar to this one we were looking at before, where it's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you come down here and finish, and then you run. So we don't know. I'll go with the one I had before, because it's a more conventional. It's the more conventional way to chart it, and then you can decide how you want to play it. But I do think you'll take this. I think you have another swing higher, and then maybe this X will top, and then you'll get another swing down, something like that. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe it could come back up to 362. We'll have to wait and see. All right. So just want to go back through. Looks like I got through all the comments here, and just want to make sure if I did again. If you want me to jump into your stock, I can do that for the super chats. And there was that one that somebody posted on here that they said I missed, and I just want to see if I find it here. If I'm just searching through the comments. If I can find it. If I can't find it, you could always DM me on Twitter, and I can try to work it in my next update that I push out, or I could just reply back to you 6737. So 6737. If you're out there, I'm looking. I don't. Again, for some reason, it didn't show up in my feed what you were asking. So you could just ask. Yeah, so I don't factor in news like that into my analysis because it muddies the waters for me. I know people do, like volume and OPEX and skew index and all these other things, but I don't look at that. It's to me, I just look at the chart, and it's always helped me stay focused as well as not lose sleep over looking at the market as kind of like I always say, so I don't look at the market like a chess game I can outsmart. I don't look at it as, this is going to happen, then this, and then because of that, then this should, and then if this goes up and, the yen weakens here, and then the bonds are here, but then China's selling bonds, and I don't worry about all the interconnected dynamics of the market. I just trade each chart on its own. And I just trade it, but I do definitely diversify across sectors because sectors trade together. But I would say that it's helped me not have to worry about Fed minutes. I don't care. Fed speakers on TV. I don't give a shit. Tariffs, no tariff, could care less. President Trump wins, don't care. It makes it trading for me a lot easier. So I don't worry too much about, you know, the OpEx stuff and everything, but I know it matters to some traders and they use it, so fine, use it. If it works in your system, use it. If your system makes that work, then please do it. If it, use it. But if for me, to me, it just is a more of a distraction. And then I start trying to outsmart the market, and I always fail when you try to do that because you can't. Because the market is unpredictable. To me, it's sentiment driven, which is very you know, difficult to guess where how sentiment ebbs and flows, and that's why a stock like Palantir could be $250 billion, right? And Wingstop, they were saying the price to sales was like, you know, 80 or something crazy. Like that's how these stocks get to those extreme valuations, and this is how other stocks don't get a bid, you know, and they should. And so it's because I think sentiment really drives the market price, you know, and the fundamentals I think drive the overall direction. I think that's kind of how the market plays on the fundamentals. But anyway, let me see what other comments are coming in. And like I said, and yeah, maybe psychology. Yeah, I think other people, that's the thing too, is like other people believe in it. So that means it may become sentiment, right? If everyone believes the same thing, they all trade it. But I think everyone believed Grab was going to moon on earnings. There was so much stuff on the internet and Wall Street bets, but it didn't. So that didn't happen, unfortunately, for some people. Um, yeah, so guys, I think that's all I've got today. So I'm going to end it here. I appreciate joining and calling in. If you like this type of analysis, you can join. I have plans at $5 a month, and I cover a few symbols of the market, and then I give some trade ideas as well as on my pros. I add the more technology-based and popular stocks, and then elite. I essentially look at the entire market, and I really devote most of my time to making sure, you know, I look through those tickers, and as well as I do their own lives. They get their own live stream, members only live stream during trading hours, typically to ask me questions, and I respond, which we had one this afternoon, and we were actually able to pick up a couple good things, I think, and make a couple good observations. You know, ahead of the crowd, I think we'll be proven hopefully that we were able to do that. All right, guys, that's all I got. Thanks again, everybody, and if I'm thinking and oh, I see. They asked for Doge and Hive, and I gotcha. Cool. Okay, well, good. I'm glad I got that then. Yeah. So then, on my next live stream probably be Saturday afternoon, which would be morning Pacific time to get people on the West Coast. That'll be a public live stream, and then I'll do a members only live stream if the market warrants it. If something crazy happens, that's creates opportunity or disrupts our what we had expected. You know.